back in grand finals, be a champion once again, and they are one map
away from qualifying to the grand finals unless Galaxy Phoenix can extend this series. Let's jump into this right here, right now in the Land of Dawn, as we hope that level 1 doesn't go as badly as game number 2.
They're so close. They're so close to making it back, and that's knowing that all these new regions, all these competitors have been stepping up in their own ways too. But even in their most desperate moments, NAVI right now that they're back on track, they're just not letting go of these more unique types of roamers and compositions, and they're making it work every single time. That sudden flex now to reveal the Kaja, but a great start for GXP, forcing out the flicker from Rian.
Okay, a little unfortunate that Winnie did not get the gold grab, but Mirai was able to steal it away. But at this stage, you can see what exactly they want to do. Sophia is a little under-leveled here.
Oh, Lema had to flicker to... This has been the trend for every single early game. Navi with the Lilia not changing their mid-hero for 3 games straight, just constantly spamming all these pokes. And now that it's with a Kaja, it's a lot more annoying in a sense that even the Kaja is just gonna walk up straight to you, apply these slows, and potentially even a bit more damage.
Yeah, what I can't understand here was what happened here at level 1. Why was the first rotation down towards the goal when it should have been here in the mid? The mid is struggling right now. Unless Sophia can close the distance and land that stun on terrain and get a full commitment with Lima in the jungle, that's kind of the only problem. But Winnie here might just get solo killed, no problem as well.
Oh, so close! And she does! First blood over to Rian. No flicker though. Can Lima actually take her out? There's a dash and the concussive blast will actually be enough.
God bless, God bless. At least they were able to get it back, and now it actually is slightly in Winnie's favor because they're going to be able to make it to that wave first. However, the gold is still in favor of Rian as now the turtle spawns out. Let's see how it plays.
Link shows up, Throne of Ruin already casted, but the heavy spin 2 pins down their jungler. Fa could not live long, but actually gets to land the retribution. Also will go down, but that's going to be an exchange of Keishi. Both junglers traded by these two teams. Oh, Keishi, or not Ayanami rather, being chased. That's going to be another kill over to GXP.
And not Ayanami, unfortunately, not finding the perfect angle to actually get the split down. For the time being, though, Winnie on the opposite side, and this is what I was talking about. Now, getting control over that wave. After this solo kill, initially, most people are going to be thinking, yeah, no, this is going to be great. Rian equalizes the lane. It actually doesn't, assuming that Rian was able to survive right up till the dive. Now you can see the level lead as well as the gold lead becoming more clear as Winnie is trying to just lock out this lane.
I feel like GXP too, after what happened in game number 2, are just like, yeah, we cannot just let Winnie experience the same thing all over again.
No more.
This isn't a chip lineup anyway, but the fact that they are on a very hard lockdown type of composition who could just pretty much combo it with either the carry and the Lilia are still going to be a massive threat for Winnie as the main damage dealer later on. So now they are somehow showing us more and more rotations towards the bottom lane. I think that's also why you got to see that in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, I think Winnie at this point is probably just praying, like, please do not let me get hit by Divine Judgment, like anything but that. I don't mind a heavy spin, I got purified, but now the next fight begins.
Okay, it's gonna be Mirai as the target quickly bursted down as expected from Sophia and the rest of GXP. Even the EXP lanes being managed really well by Link right now.
They managed to find an interception, which is great, but also I think Navi, unfortunately, is still having a bit of lingering thoughts from the previous game, thinking that they're really far ahead. Mirai, you're not in that position anymore, you know? You're not having an extra 1,000 gold on top of Lima this time round.
Yeah, and there wasn't, I think, anyone there yet to just really apply the follow-up damage. If ever they do get to find the Divine Judgment, they could probably deal a bit of poke here and there, but this is where it really should have mattered. This is the next turtle of the game, and both teams are going to fight for it.
Mirai can put the handcuffs on somebody. Unfortunately, they still need someone else to be the guillotine. Oh!
Faz after Keishi, that forces out the heavy spin, and the Fettered Airstrike already gets committed as well, but I believe it was cancelled, and now it's an isolation play onto Fa!
Oh!
Throne of Ruin and Yo and Fury! GXP might actually turn things around. Rain having to flicker out, winning with a heavy crossbow, dealing a lot of damage as well. And they survive. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Both junglers are down.
That counter engage coming in from Ling to save the day right at the very end. However, Rian still 2-1 score, trying to keep back up. And despite what happened in the early stages of the game, manages to get enough of a care package, some economic aid to stay even.
All these ult-reliant heroes from GXP though, they probably will get it back a few moments later, but Navi are just for sure going to be confident enough to get back in this too. It's only the heavy spin that's been taken out alongside the Divine Judgment.
I don't understand why Ling is still trying to pull the wave. They know that they didn't have their ults earlier. They could have started zoning out way earlier. They knew they didn't have ults. They also knew they didn't have the battle spells. And now they're giving up the space over to Navi.
Yep, because Navi are back. Heavy spin is back, and the turtle gets reset all over again. But it's going to be an attempt from Ling, which doesn't land onto anyone. And look at how not Ayanami is just trying to go for the zone. An annoying way to just break formation. Minoan Fury forced out again, but it's Casey who gets knocked up. Fa still finding retribution. They get to isolate Ling, but they might not have the damage for this. It's GXP finding more kills.
Unfortunate indeed. Honestly, Navi played as good as they can to kind of get out of this situation, but that first initial whiff coming in from Ling, really unfortunate to say the least, but Fa still made it work. Steals away the Lord just in time, because Keishi had pretty much all the advantages.
Yep, they're really working as a unit at this point. Now a quick conversion to another objective as well. GXP are just focusing so much of their resources towards the bottom lane, even in that entire sequence where it feels like they barely paid attention to the other parts of the map, just as long as they could win it out in that turtle fight.
Yeah, and now they just want to keep on progressing it, right? Whoa.
Divine Judgment, that's gonna be one. It's a shutdown on Sophia. I think it's a great start if Navi, who slowly wants to get back in this game.
But some of the bad habits are starting to show. The way that GXP is opening up the map is honestly getting them killed more often than not. Oh, good flicker and a pull!
Oh, what a timing! He still gets brought back! Now it's another kill for Navi. It's both mid-duos.
Yeah, Lima tried to use the Minoan Fury as a means to not get displaced because of the anti-CC, but just did it a little too late, unfortunately. This punish is good, but that battle spell, I don't know. If you're already going to flicker anyway, you might as well just let it happen.
Yeah. And Nara Yanami will just get it back real quick. We're looking at the gold difference right now. Not much in terms of the gold lane, not much in terms of most of the lanes. It's really in the macro that you kind of feel what GXP wants to do differently this time in comparison to Navi.
But at the same time, it feels like both Navi and GXP, they've sharpened each other enough after these past two games. They're really picking up on the bad habits. Look at this!
Oh, once again, we find another isolation. Sophia gets caught here by not Ayanami, but will get to wings by Vincere out. But under the turret, can Ayanami still find the kill? It seems like it's a no, and then Fa gets dragged back under the turret.
Oh!
An unfortunate sequence for GXP.
Really sad, but well played from Navi. They are not going to take this sitting down. They're going to make sure that they're being tall and proud when they take this game away. It's 6-6 so far, and Navi are in full position to take the Lord as well. Divine Judgment is not up, and Split is still on cooldown.
This is just so interesting to me how Navi are able to deal with either the utility or assassin comp from GXP.
Right? I totally agree with you, because again, we're seeing many different sides of Navi. Usually, we see a lot of, big personalities, but a very linear and clear idea of how they want to play a game. Navi, not only have they shown how tall they are, but they are showing how wide this team composition and the styles of play that they have in their pockets are.
Oh, they're going to go for Rain.
What?
That's the Minoan Fury and the Throne of Ruin, but the heavy spin as a defensive tool to just make sure that GXP are not able to push forward. Rian joining in the fight too might make a huge difference right now. GXP lose a little more in the process. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade right before the Lord.
That was a pretty good idea initially from Navi's side. I think there was a little bit of hesitation from Rian. Let's pull up the item list. I want to just get a double confirmation on whether or not the Trinity has been complete, and that's why she would have to commit to her full ult to ensure that at least they get a trade back. But without the DHS, it's going to be a lot harder to get through the Limas and the Fas if you're only hoping that your passive is going to be enough.
They're going to burst it down real quick. They do not want another instance of GXP just potentially trying to fight back, considering what you just mentioned. They still don't have the DHS. but at least for now, they get a bit more advantage and the first Lord of the game as well. But it's interesting, at least for GXP, they're able to really push the sides, but Mirai, all alone here, gets a bit of protection from Keishi, and now 2 members at least brought really close under their very own territory. Throne of Ruin casted by Ling, not Ayanami trying to find a target, does find one, but the damage dealers aren't here. GXP are just turning things around. Rian finally comes to join, but then Sophia, Mirai from behind, who does she find? It's Sophia, but she doesn't have the Divine Judgment. Rain and Rian are making it work all by themselves.
This is what I was talking about. Bad habits. They notice GXP, they keep coming at us front to back. They're not thinking about their size. They're not thinking about the fights. They're not thinking about that huge top wave getting demolished by the Lord.
And now Navi are just chasing after them, so they couldn't go for the defense. Feathered Airstrike trying to help out Ling, but it's not gonna be enough.
This is the 101 of war. When you are fighting in the front lines, you must understand what your supply lines are, the logistics to get there. And right now, Navi have attacked them in so many different areas. GXP, you can tell the tunnel vision, the peripherals is getting darker and darker. They have to wake up. Take a moment, just breathe.
Because we're so used to them being really synced up in terms of especially prioritization, the targets that they go for, and how they're always almost on the same page, but we're not seeing that from GXP at this point. It's more so from Navi as they find another kill. Sophia, knock up from the Minoan Fury together with the Throne of Ruin, but the relevant members are just getting away. It's not Ayanami traded out, but Fa goes down too. It's a double for Rian, and she's just 7-1-2.
It's so frustrating because the combo is good. It's a perfect Minoan Fury into the Throne of Ruin that had to commit a flicker from Ling. They just didn't have enough AoE to burst down the members after the combo. Winnie can only hit so many targets at once. And luckily from the front lines of Navi, they have enough armor to tank the explosive crossbows.
It's all their base turrets exposed just with that single Lord Siege, which Navi barely had to work with because they just let it walk through the top lane, and every single lane too just pushed forward just because GXP kept forcing the fight.
Yeah, I mean, majority of the... Oh, hold on, the Divine Judgment is good. Rihanna's already blown them up. So Throne Ruin tries their best backline. In trouble. Sophia finds one. Keishi gets another. And now the chase. Ray needs to win this against Winnie. Purify being used. The heavy spin locks down Fa. And there you have it. Navi say, no, you took 2 of our members. We take 3.
And GXP just wanted to repeat the exact same thing. It was probably not the exact same sequence in a sense that Lema actually got to cast the Minoan Fury, but it was follow-up from Ling that eventually, in hopes of them converting it into a successful teamfight, but Navi were just a bit too prepared for that. They knew who they wanted to target, and they just kept pushing forward. Now, it's a massive loss as GXP had to let go of the Lord.
Nothing much that they can really do about that. Again, there's a certain level of protocols that need to be put in place, but you can tell that GXP are not 100% sure what that roadmap actually looks like. They've got some really good ideas, but sometimes when do you actually want to find those initiations? Before they try to initiate after Sophia was caught, they were thinking about, hey, if they get a little bit closer, we can make something happen, and all of a sudden the flicker Divine Judgment was the real play. So I think that GXP right now, they're trying to set the priority order. Do we worry about this Divine Judgment? Can we get Sophia in a better position so that Winnie can follow up immediately after?
Hopefully they figured out not to wait, because we've been questioning the priority order for the longest time in this entire game. Who does GXP really want to go for first? What is the game plan, considering that they're mostly revolving around Winnie and Sophia, but Navi, even if they decide to go for their front lines and not these damage dealers, are actually making it work. Now they have an entire Lord with no energy or holy shields left up top. They're on the verge of losing so much more.
Yeah, with the suppression as well, it's just really difficult for Lima especially.
Oh, that was a flicker in, but Mirai does get cancelled though. Does have the immortality, is gonna be okay. Feathered Airstrike as well as the Minoan Fury trying to defend as much as they can. Keishi, defensive heavy spin, but Winnie finds a double. Navi have to run away, wings by wings towards not Ayanami, and they go back right in. Do they really want to fight this? Not Ayanami actually finds Sophia.
No way! No way! Winnie ended up killing her own teammate because of that. They could have just stopped autoing, but they were just so desperate to make it work. Literally anything would have been good there. Oh man, not Ayanami. Despite having a horrendous early game, now it's like, this is my revenge. You've hurt me enough.
Yeah, I was worried when she went back in too, but the fact that GXP, I feel like they just panicked and clicked their buttons and unfortunately cost their teammates' lives there. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. GXP definitely have to somehow reset and get back in this game. They were slowly finding their way around things, but it's Navi all over again, all across the map.
Yeah, Navi has adapted a lot better to what GXP has been laying on the table in terms of their tactical plans and strategies. And I think that Navi, just a little bit more clutch factor within them. But I think it's the awareness, right? The awareness overall about not only the battle situation, but what's happening across the map. It just feels like Navi is just slightly more efficient and more flexible in those moments. GXP, it's got to be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and they've been changing the order up, but it still feels a little clunky.
So what could be the best order at this point? You would really expect it's just either Lema or Ling. Does someone have to be left behind to at least some sort of protect? For Winnie and Sophia, they do have the flickers and the purifies for themselves, but it just seems that as long as Navi get that one pick-off done, then there's nothing stopping them at all.
I think step number 1 is to control this mid. Oh, wait, actually, Divine Judgment!
Oh, is that one pick-off? Is that the pick-off? Ling tries to stop them from getting that pick-off, but despite that, the heavy spin still gets committed, and GXP find one! They somehow find Rain! Navi, do they want to push through? They've lost one of their main damage sources.
That is so unfortunate. It takes 2 people to engage upon 3 in the back lines of Navi, but it just takes not Ayanami to keep both Sophia and Winnie away, and still able to find that kill onto Sophia's side. Like, if not Ayanami, people were like, oh, she's going back to her old ways. No, she is a completely different player.
Yeah, look at how she's playing the glue.
Ridiculous.
Redeeming herself after that early game. I mean, look at her. I mean, she's not really resetting. Another Divine Judgment onto Lema. There goes the burst from Rian as well. Do they really want to risk this? Okay, they actually find one. It's going to be Fa. They're pushing her out of this Lord pit. And that's enough to secure the objective, but it's in exchange of not Ayanami.
And that's totally fine. Look at the timers. Look at the timers. The wave is going to spawn. If they waited a little bit longer, it would have been nice after the 12 minutes. But since then, even so, not Ayanami has gotten everything they've wanted. Lima doesn't have a flicker. Ling still doesn't have the flicker as well. And by the time the Lord actually makes it down into the base, she's still not going to have the flicker.
Yeah, I feel like GXP wanted to go for something there, but they saw Mirai and were like,
nah,
no.
It's good.
No. And we have a Lord. I'm glad they actually realized that they might have to pull back a bit because they have to deal with a Lord, and Navi are approaching their base.
At this point, I might as well just stare at Mirai the entire time because, again, her flickers with the Divine Judgments have been immaculate.
Okay, they get to clear the Lord. Navi are not really going to make use of it just yet. They also have to wait for not Ayanami, I feel, if they really want to risk a 5-on-5 engage. So GXP are taking advantage of this, and at least after 18 minutes are still in the game.
Would you say? I would say that Navi understands their composition, but they're also giving a lot of respect to GXP.
Yeah.
Like, despite everything that has happened in this game, GXP was going even with Navi, despite the score leaning into Navi's side for at least 8 to 9 minutes. Now here in the late game, despite having an advantage with that long lane already wide and exposed, Navi still ain't pressing the matter.
Yeah, the combos you get to see from both the Farsa and Irithel, I feel like we already saw a glimpse of what it could bring to the table when they immediately bursted down Rain. Because Rain typically on the Lilia has been always very aggressive. She's been showing up on the front lines, a lot of help towards not Ayanami, but during that moment, I think she also didn't expect to get bursted down as quickly, so they might want to pay attention to that, because that'll definitely change the way they approach their team fights for even just a bit if they don't want GXP to find an opening.
Yeah, let's quickly look at the items here so far. The Malefic Gun is already done, but I'm looking at the tanks specifically because I'm already seeing that they made sure that they have the right items. A decent amount of armor, but just enough magic damage to start burning down the squishies, which is probably why not Ayanami isn't dying as quickly in comparison to Ling having to deal with the true damage of carry.
Oh, but this could be a problem too. Immortality pickup for Winnie already. Just letting go of the boots and understanding that she definitely has to be the one to survive in these fights. I think Sophia's also building a winter crown very, very soon, so they'll have more tools to survive if ever Navi does go for another surprise Divine Judgment play, which puts a lot of responsibility on Mirai. She has to be very particular. I know she has been, but even more so now when it comes to who she uses the Divine Judgment on.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So far, Mirai not only needs to use it defensively, but more importantly, have to be very proactive on the map. Because you already have the fleeting time, you might as well just let it rip when you have the chance. But if that window, and you don't have that follow-up, isn't good enough, GXP, again, might even up the score 18-18.
Yep, the punish is very much possible for GXP with just a single mistake, but Navi are forcing the Lord.
Oh!
There goes the heavy spin, and they could not react. Not Ayanami finding one. Does Navi still fight? This is a no. They flicker out. They want to run away. The Throne of Ruin captures one though, and it's gonna be Mirai, but Lima finds more. The knockups on multiple members, but the flicker, the reposition from Mirai. She's actually still alive!
And the rest of Navi are body blocking one by one as they turn this fight around the end. Now taking one auto attack at a time. Your battle lines are down. I will take the space!
Sophia had to fly away because they're already losing out on so much. Fa and Lema are down the front lines. It's just Ling who could serve as that front right now.
Unbelievable peel coming up from Navi's side. They've created an endgame scenario. Winter Crown is already purchased, but the situation is dire. All waves collapsing at once.
Rian down to half HP, but the jump from not Ayanami. Winnie had to get out of that. Sophia too with a flicker, but the grab! Sophia popping the immortality and the sweep coming in for Navi!
What a game. What an absolutely disgusting game.